Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III, the method actor who plays Paul Pluto. Remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends. Fridge space for lease. There are Patreon. Sponsor me on Patreon. You put a little bit of money every month into my cookie jar and it allows me to stay making videos because my Google Ads revenue is fucked. It's fucked this because Google doesn't like me swearing like a sailor. Sailor fuckers. So I don't want to change my style. I don't want to change my shtick. I want to do what I do. And I'm making this video today. I want to talk about a topic that is really fucking scary. And it's one of the reasons that I really started selling off a lot of my collection. And I just saw a video on Paul Thorpe. Paul Thorpe is he's a guy who does watch reviews on YouTube. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. I actually rang Paul. I sent him an email and he gave me his phone number. I rang Paul Thorpe and he's a really cool guy. He says, "Oh yeah, Archie, I've been watching you for years." And I hope to do a video with him one day. He's a cool guy. Anyhow, he was talking about a friend of his, Pat the Watch, who was at his home asleep and had some fucking maggot, some asshole, performed a robbery on him. And I can't think of anything fucking worse than being asleep with your missus. He's had his girlfriend with him. I don't think he's married. And some cunt wakes you up shouting and screaming to get your valuables. They were trying to burgle you. And I gotta tell you, it's fucking depressing. It is really, really depressing. And it's funny, you know, Paul was talking about how he's been burgled. He's had 3 robberies. And I did a bit of a Google on Paul Thorpe's burglaries and fuck, this is pretty nasty shit. And I got to tell you, there's a watch dealer I know in Brisbane. I've done a review on his shop, Harrington Antiques. Fuck me dead. You know, I went there. I'm decluttering. I'm getting rid of shit I've got. I had all these Louis Vuitton shopping bags, and you know, I could sell them on eBay for $10 each, but you got to post the fucking things. I don't want to throw them away because they're hard to get. So I said to Mark at Harrington's, I said, "Hey, you want to buy these? I'll give you a deal. You'll make profit." He gives me the odd bone too. So he's a nice guy. So I went there, sold them to him. On the fucking news that afternoon, his shop was held up at gunpoint. I believe a shot was fired. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck. How can this shit happen? And I gotta be honest with you, it's fucking scary. This sort of shit is really, really scary. It really worries me. How can fucking things like this happen? It's a nasty world we live in. You've got really fucking nasty fucking criminals who just want to burgle you. I mean, this is what the world has come to. Some cunt wants to shove a sawn-off shotgun in your face and take everything you've worked for. And I got to be honest with you. Watch dealing is pretty fucked. I mean, you have internet sales. Every cunt tries to defraud you. Okay? Every cunt's, you know, you got to be careful. Then you have, when you send it FedEx or EMS or through the post, they get fucking stolen. Every cunt's trying to steal, rip you off. And then you have fucking people who have a shop. They get fucking held up at gunpoint or knife point or fuck me dead. It is so fucking shit. And I gotta be honest with you, this is just fucking nasty shit. I mean, I remember many years ago when I just started, I'd been retrenched and I started working for a friend. This is the used watch dealer in Bangkok I was working for. So I flew into Hong Kong. He said, come to Hong Kong first. There's a watch show. We'll stay there overnight. And then the next day, you can have a look at the watches. And then the next day, I'll meet you in Bangkok. So I flew back. And when he came back, he told me that one of his good mates, Alvin from Monster Time, Alvin Lee, fucking had his watches. He had them in the hotel. He went out of the room to go to breakfast. When he came back, the bag with the watches in was stolen. This is like a top-end hotel. And you think, fuck. It had been sort of, they... I don't know what to say, really. I don't know what to say. It's fucking nasty. And, I got to tell you, when you hear about this luxury goods, I've really fucking gone. It's one of these things at the back of my mind. I always was thinking, fuck, I've got a bit of a profile. I can't keep anything of valuable in my home, and that's why I've sold off suitcases, everything big that I couldn't put into the bank safe. So a couple of years ago, I went to the Commonwealth Bank in the city, and I actually rent a safety deposit box. Technically, those have been broken into too. There is no winning. There is no winning. But I don't want some cunt turning up to my house with a sawn-off shotgun, say, "Give me your watches." I mean, it's fucking nasty shit. And I got to tell you, that's the other reason I was sold off a lot of my larger collectibles, my Louis Vuitton collection. Most of it's gone. Most of it's gone. What I didn't sell off, I sold off. My greenhouser's gone. My LeChellin suitcase, I fucking lost money on that. I had 5 presidents. I've got 1 president now with my initials on. That's it. 1. I kept 1. I sold most things off, and the reason is, I don't want to be a target. I don't want to have these fucking valuable things. And whenever I traveled, I used to worry that they get damaged. Something can happen. Someone burgles them. This, that. I'd rather not have them and have to worry about storing them. And I got to tell you, the watch dealing itself there's some very dodgy fuckers. And it's partly the reason I don't do a lot of buying and selling these days. I've just bought this Speedy Mark II. But, it's a $2,000 to $3,000 watch. So what? I'll try and keep 2 watches at home max. One on my wrist, another one in a wrapper in my shirt pocket or in my briefcase. And I don't want to fucking keep things at home because I just get paranoid about things fucking going missing. And I mean, the margins in watches is pretty fucking slim. There's not huge margin. This margin that everyone thinks you make there on Rolex sports watches, you're lucky to make 10%. You can't even make 10% sometimes. Pateks, okay, there's a bit of margin in a Patek, but you've got to hold it for a long fucking time. High service costs, high fucking the straps. That to have the right, the right look, you got to have the right strap, original strap on it. They're expensive. So a lot of these things themselves, although they're beautiful, they really can be a nasty thing to have because you've got so many fucking security problems. I mean, I'd love to have, from the house I live at, I'd love to have watches on display and have, put a sign out the front, hey, watches for sale, buy, sell used watches. But you're going to make yourself a fucking target. Some cunt will turn off with a sawn-off shotgun and fucking hold you up. That's what's going to fucking happen. You were really making yourself a target. So, I'm I'm I don't want that shit. I just you just can't do it. Some bastard turns up with a gun and hand over your stock. You hand over the stock, don't you? The only defense, as Paul Thorpe said there, the only defense you have is not having any stock at home. Your premises are hard to go into, hard to go out. It's the only things you can do. And it's a bit of a fucked world. This really is a fucked world where burglars want to fucking steal shit from you. Burglars. What happened to honest graft? You know, this is just... It's a nasty thing. And myself there, that's what's really... I was selling watches years ago overseas, but all these hassles, they're a nightmare to ship because can't steal them. They're a nightmare to sell, you know, this internet's PayPal rules and eBay rules. You're at the mercy of the fucking buyer. It's fucking dangerous. Fucking dangerous indeed. And I don't know what to fucking say. It's just a vicious, nasty fucking world that we live in. Everything's difficult. It's just so fucking hard. And I saw Paul Thorpe's video. I thought, fuck me dead. You know, low margin industry, high cost. I mean, I love watches, sure. But this is the problem with some of these really high-end watches. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. You've got to be so careful. Fucking cunts will roll you for a couple $100. This is the horrible world we live in. So, I tell you what, have a look at. I'll put the link to that video in the description. Have a look at it and fuck me dead. Do you want to sell watches? I'm Paul Pluter on the Paul Pluter channel. Tell me what you think of that. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and please, consider getting a paid review, $20 US. Consider asking me for advice, $10. Phone call, $50 for an hour of ArchieLuxury talk. Okay, fuckers, how else can I make a quid? See you later, fuckers. It's not Google with the swearing, Archie. All your Google revenue's fucked with when you swear like a drunken sailor in a whorehouse.